So today we're going to be focused on mostly disassembling this. Like, I mean, we have started to do a couple things off camera because I was waiting for it to warm up in here, but I just want to kind of disassemble this and assess the situation. I'm not sure how far this video will go. My goal is to, by the end of this video, have the frame completely disassembled, all this stuff that I don't need cut out of it. I have to pull the engine and tranny, and I have to pull the rear end, and it's just going to be a frame, and I got to bring it back to life. So I'm going to start with that. I might box it today, I don't know. It all depends on how far we get, but I at least want to get it stripped down to nothing, and get this frame redone. And that's the goal. So, gonna be ripping this down. Oh man, I'm finding just found some rot in the cowl there. I don't like that. Whatever. Gonna find something new every day. But yeah, gonna strip it down, see what all I have to. This thing is, my main thing is getting the correct ride height, so I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Like, this is all completely up in the air. I like the looks of a high boy, but I don't like tutors as high boys. I prefer, a coupe or a roadster as a high boy. They look better. I'm gonna have to lower this thing down, and I think how I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna do the frame. I'm gonna sweep the frame in the front and rear. It'll be my first time doing that. But that's just kind of what I want to do. I think I'm gonna do a chop on this thing because it's like, I've never done a chop by myself, but what a easier car to do a chop on. Like, I don't think there's an easier car to do a chop to. So anyway, I'm getting too far ahead of myself, but like, I guess to explain like the looks of what I'm going for, the reason I'm stripping this apart is I got to see like what the ride height looks like with these wheels and tires. Like, I'm gonna have to lower the rear end, a little bit. I'm gonna sweep the frame up, obviously, but you can't do that until it's mocked up because you don't know how high to step the frame up. There's a lot that goes into it, which I don't know. Let's start with stripping it. So I'm not filming this because there's just like so much going on. It probably doesn't look any different than, an hour ago when I was filming, but these are all the parts taken off, and I just got done with the motor mounts there. So now I'm going to try to pull the motor because I can't get the steering box and steering column out until the engine's out because it's in the way. So here goes nothing. right, I want to explain myself here. So I tore everything apart. Obviously, there's not too much I can use on this. That rear end, I'm probably just going to upgrade it to a Chevy. I can take that torque tube out, and they have an adapter that goes on the end that turns it into an open drive shaft. The front, but like the back, like the drums and everything, like I'm going to need to replace all that. This, I'm going to use this, I guess, the front end, but we'll get to that later. So I want it to have the stock axle. I might even go with a lower axle, but I'm going to do a really crazy drop on this. I don't want to say crazy. Like, it's not going to be ridiculous, but I want this thing to sit pretty darn low. Not like frame on the ground low, obviously. I want to drive it. I want it to be about 6 inches off the ground. But using stock springs and axles, you got to make your frame, you got to alter your frame pretty significantly to be able to pull off a drop like that. And I'm going to really have to modify this, like the motor mounts, so I'll explain myself here. So here's where the step is going to begin. I'm going to be cutting this off, and then it's going to be stepped down about 6 inches. And then maybe even more than that. And then I'm going to pie cut right here, right? So there's going to be a cut, and then a cut, and then a cut. It's going to kick this up like pretty serious. And then it's going to be pie cut the opposite on the bottom of this, so this will go back down. So this is going to be going way up, and then it'll straighten itself out again and level itself out so that this is flat. But it's going to be pretty significant. I really was weary about doing this. I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do it that way. Obviously, I'm going to fish plate it. You're going to see how I do it, but it'll be strong. But I was really weary about even doing it like this, because it could ruin the whole frame, and it might ruin the whole project. But at the same time, I'm like, you only live once. Like, if I ruin all this, it's a $700 mistake. That sucks. But at the same time, it's like, this is how you learn. You learn by making mistakes. You learn by just going for it and doing it. And if I screw it all up, then I'll know, it's like, dude, that was dumb. And I'll get another frame, and then I just won't do this again. I have another frame, actually. It's just not here. So I'm going to practice on this one. And yeah, that's going to be that. So. for now, everything's just kind of tacked in place because I might have to cut that back open and make some adjustments. I hope not, but we're going to flip it over, cut this side, and then we're just going to keep going. So obviously my welds aren't finished yet. Like, I'm not finished welding. I'm not going to leave that open like that. I'm going to make that all solid. Probably do some braces like that. I'm going to do a lot more, but I wanted to mock it up before I do all that in case I have to cut something back off. But it's sitting perfect. So the reason I have this up on the jack, obviously, is because it's set exactly 14 inches. So like halfway in between that wheel and to the end of the tire is 14 inches. So I measured halfway into that wheel into 14 inches to the ground so that I can kind of get an idea. These wheels obviously don't have the right bolt pattern, so this is all just mock-up. But yeah, so this is how it's going to sit. It looks really different on film, like when I look at it through my phone and then when I'm actually out here looking at it. It has like the slightest bit of rake. Actually, where's the freaking tape measure? Probably underneath my glove here. All right, yeah. So let's check this out. So from the bottom there, we got about 7 inches. Got the same amount there. So it's 7 inches and 7 inches. And which is good. I wanted the body to sit flat. And then that'll tuck up in the back. I'm gonna have to alter the floor in there quite a bit. But that probably sounded muffled. I had my hand over the microphone. But anyway, this is kind of exactly how I wanted it. So I really hope it works out on the car. I need to somehow lift this up and slide that underneath it, which is, I just need to get a couple buddies over here and put the body on there. I got to cut these trailing arms. Like, I could sell them, but like I can't get them off of here. I don't know if I have to use a wheel press to get that hub off and then take it off from the inside. Guarantee that's exactly what I have to do. But like, I don't know if it's worth more trouble than just cutting it off. What am I going to get? $30 for them in 7 years when someone decides to buy them. I got to split those wishbones. That wishbone, have split wishbones on each side. I have to buy bungs to weld inside of each arm, and that'll come later. I mean, I'm gonna probably be working on this frame until it's finished. Like, I have a lot more welding and bracing to do, and then I'm gonna grind it all down. And I have a lot of like little studs and stuff you can't really see on camera, but there's a ton of studs and hardware, like that body mount up there. All that stuff needs to get cut off, and the frame needs sanded down. It needs wire wheeled, and I just want to do it all at once when I'm done with this. The last build I had, I kind of did it as I went. Like, I boxed half the frame, and then I did the rear end, and then went back and finished it. It was kind of all over the place, but everything on here is sitting level. It's square. I don't know how it ended up square, but it is. And I'm just going to keep rolling on it, man. I'm putting fish plates, little tiny fish plates in between each weld on the inside before I box the frame. Then I'll box the frame eventually, and it'll just make it solid. So, all right, that's it for now. So I was I was trying to find something to go in this spot, right, on both sides, obviously. So I had this scrap square tubing, so I just simply cut it, and now I can do this and weld that all up nice and tight, So that's just added strength. You do that on both sides. So now that's, you know, more strength. I gotta add a end cap there. I don't know if I'm gonna do it now or later. Probably a good place to end it. The frame is pretty much complete. It's square, it's strong. I'm gonna box the whole thing, so you know, like a lot of places where I'm worried about structure, and I was thinking about like putting more fish plates or some other things, but it's like I keep forgetting that I'm gonna box the whole thing, and when I box it, it's gonna be extremely strong. It will be indestructible. I don't know about all that, but it's gonna be nice. And then I'm gonna go back and clean everything up, and I'm gonna primer it and paint it the right way. I mean, I don't know about the right way, not the right way, but I'm gonna like take my time on this frame. I want this frame to look pretty nice. It's not, I don't want it to be a show car, but I'm thinking about spraying the frame white. And if it's white, I wanna, you know, you see every imperfection. So I might do it like a matte white. I kind of like that idea. But the problem with that is it'll get so dirty and it'll drive me crazy. But I don't know yet. Besides that, so next I have to go down here and I have to cut all kinds of stuff out of the floor because the floor's not going to be the way it is, obviously. Like, I have to basically undo what I already did in there because it's just not going to fit. I wasn't planning on doing this to the frame. I was just going to run a stock frame, but you know, I got a little carried away, and now I want to cut it out and see what it's going to look like on wheels and tires, just a roller, and then I can start getting excited, and then I'll do the chop. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up, but I got to figure out a way. I was thinking about like a makeshift way to like run some boards across through the windows and jack something up, like to lift the car up so that I can slide the chassis underneath it. But I'm too tired. I've been out here for like 18 hours. I'm ready. This frame's taking me forever. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that I don't have in this episode. Like, there's so many things I did off camera that, you know, grinding things down and softening edges in between everything, and I don't have all that in the video. I don't even have half the welding I did in the video. It's like it just gets boring watching me weld, and it takes a lot of, you know, like every single weld going around these, like I have to wait in between doing every single one of these, because if I try to lay a solid bead, the power will kick. So I'm like burning in and stacking dimes, you know, just concentrating on, you know, and then I take like 10 seconds in between each weld, or 20 seconds. So it's a process, and it would take up hours on my phone memory, and it just wouldn't be worth watching. I mean, I'd be time lapsing myself for hours and hours, you know, rather than just, you guys know what I'm doing, and then I can just show you the final product. But yeah, I can't believe I did that to this frame. This frame's like wicked, dude. That's really strange. I don't know how the engine's gonna fit in there. That's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of obstacles. You know, I'm making this up as I go. I figure if I screw it up, whatever, man, then I screwed up the Model A, and I'll start over with a new frame. But you know, you can always weld more structure into a body. You can always, you know, find a new frame, and you know, I could redo this whole situation. But I'm really curious how it's gonna look, you know, and especially like if I put a drop axle in this thing, so that'll drop it 4 more inches in the front, Then it'll have more rake to it, I guess. But I have it sitting pretty flat now. Like when it's on its wheels and tires, it's going to be sitting pretty level, you know. So, yeah, I got to get this chassis underneath it and we'll take a look at it. That's hopefully going to be in the next episode. I got to do my homework and do something creative to get it up in the air. But I think I have a few ideas. So, all right, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.